Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Bahashim Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Shalom and salutations to all the Aquath listening and learning, being a pillar of rest. All right, I'm your brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you. We're going to start right here at Joel 3. And all the troops are being gathered together. So we're going to read 3 and 2. Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Let's look into that. Right here in the NLT, it says, I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the main battle in World War III. In the Middle East, okay? There will I judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing up my land, okay? So here's the point. The Most High, I, is going to gather the armies of the world, eventually culminating, if you will, in the Middle East, all right? But all nations, all the armies of the nations, okay? Jump down to 9, proclaim ye this among the nations, or the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. This isn't actually the fight yet. This is prepare, get ready, okay? Let's look at this. The nations, right? Proclaim this, the nations, prepare war, okay? Get ready for war, right? Stir up the mighty men, rouse up, wake up the mighty men, the fighting men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let's see. Advance and attack, men of war. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. All right, so let's watch Nate. He's going to say a lot, and I'm going to just let him talk. Okay. Right here, I think it's Latvia, marching down the street on the way to Belarus to join arms, right? So it's getting crazy. And Nate is gonna, okay, Canadian prepper one day ago, alert, largest nuclear drill ever. Will it go down? Will it go live from a drill to live fire August 23rd? Africa, World War, what? What is that, WW3? U.S. troops to Persia, Baltics move in. All the fighting men are drawing near. The Most High is gathering the armies of the world, right, from all over, from Africa, right? There's Iran, which is the Middle East. That's the Valley of Jehoshaphat right there. This is Eastern Europe, okay? It's going down. Right, you got Korean Peninsula, you got the South China Sea. Take it away.
All right, so the world is descending into complete and utter chaos, one day at a time. My goodness, we have major news today that a massive nuclear drill that is going to involve 51 million people, all descending at the same time into one of 17,000 nuclear bunkers, is about to commence in the coming weeks ahead. And it wouldn't be so bad if the military of said country didn't decide to run a massive joint military exercise at the same time. Talk about a provocative move if I ever heard one. Things could just pop off on August 23rd. Remember that the Ukrainians had telegraphed that they were going to do a massive drone strike in Moscow on the 23rd. Now this other country that we're going to talk about in just a moment is planning one of the biggest nuclear drills they've ever run on that day. And the president of that country is saying this one is going to be different. Guys, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. What you're seeing behind me is something that we have been warning people about for some time. Apparently, according to the Kiev Post, this video is of Latvian soldiers doing some sort of military exercise. Apparently, they're moving their forces as well as other Baltic states and Poland towards the Belarusian border in response to threats from the private mercenary Wagner organization, as well as the nuclear weapons that Russia has positioned there. So this is just getting wildly out of control. We have so many points on the map to refer to today. Let's talk about the 5 major theaters of World War III that are simmering right now. We have, of course, the biggest one, and these are going to be in order of nuclear potential significance. Ukraine. We have the Korean Peninsula. We have the Taiwan-China issue. We now have, of course, the Strait of Hormuz, where the U.S. Marines could potentially be engaging the Iranians if they decide to commandeer more commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. And we also have Africa about to descend into total chaos. I mean, the war that started in Ukraine set all of this off. It was all a chain reaction. In fact, you could probably go all the way back to COVID, that it was the stress that COVID put on the supply chains, the economic stress that brought out all of these conflicts, which were just lying latent, dormant for the longest period of time. They just needed a trigger. And now that you've had the one in Ukraine, it's causing economic pressure on all of these other developing nations and militaries and everybody on the global economy. And that is bringing out the worst in everybody. Now, let's talk firstly about this stuff going on in South Korea, because when I first looked at this story, I said, okay, it's another drill, another emergency exercise being run by the South Koreans. But this one is different. Get a load of this. 51 million strong nuclear exercise, nationwide civil defense drill, is about to take place on August 23rd. They're going to practice evacuating the shelters underground in a 20-minute long exercise. Now just imagine 51 million people all getting the notification on their app at the same time, telling them which of the 17,000 shelters that they're going to need to go to. Imagine the pandemonium that's going to ensue. Now, it's probably going to be a lot more orderly than it would be here, where currently in New York City right now, they're fighting over PlayStations. They're rioting over PlayStations right now in New York City. More on that later. But the Prime Minister is calling on South Koreans to take these drills seriously, indicating that something is different and that this hasn't always been the case. Now, I said before that Ukraine had telegraphed in a propaganda video that they made that on the 23rd of August, they were going to be sending a huge swarm of drones towards Moscow, or at least that was the subtext of that video. In fact, they put the actual date on the screen. I'm not saying these two things are connected. It's likely just a coincidence, but what worries me is what they go on to say in this article next. Instructions from the Interior Ministry said 17,000 shelters would be open nationwide. So they're going to get a message on their phone, because of course no South Korean can remember where 17,000 shelters are. So when you get the signal, depending on where you are in the city, if you're away from your home, it's going to direct you to one of these shelters. So they probably want to run this test to know if the bombs are inbound, if North Korea blows its wad and dumps it on the South Koreans, what is the outcome going to be? How fast are people going to be able to mobilize into the nuclear shelters? Now, this is where it gets concerning. The launch of Hwasong-18 missiles was conducted at a grave period when the military security, that's the North Korean long-range intercontinental ballistic missile, was conducted at a grave period when the military security situation on the Korean Peninsula and in the region has reached a phase of nuclear crisis beyond the Cold War.
Notice the language being used. Nuclear, 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 nuclear. Okay, largest nuclear drill, da-da-da, nuclear, nuclear, nuclear. World War III. Okay? Now, you can ignore this all you want to, but according to the scriptures, right, the world as we know it will come to an end. The end of the world as we know it will come to an end with nuclear bombs. That's why this is so important. Now, if you want to watch the rest of this, which I suggest you do, and stay tuned to this guy brings out great information. And it's not just this guy. This is a team of people doing research. And he delivers all of the information, right? And they're selling prepping supplies and shit like that. But if you watch this guy 3 years ago, it was all prepping. He's been taken or he's subsidized now by somebody, right? It's a team of people. He doesn't sit here and do all this himself. He's the spokesperson. He's the face of this channel. Okay? So, whatever they want you to see, you can see it right here. All right? And most likely you won't see this language and this kind of talk on mainstream media. So, this is a good, something good to stay abreast of, if you will. So, anyway, yeah, go back and watch this particular uh, uh, video, right? Old Nate at Canadian Prepper. This one is the largest nuclear drill ever a day ago. So, yeah, you got to stay abreast, right? You have to measure thou the time diligently in itself. This is Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Okay? And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. What does it mean, visit? Right? Visit the world that he made. It means to come back and destroy this place. Let's see if we can find that. Let's see. How do we find that in... let's see. Visit. Speech log, look up. Look up visit. Now this isn't in the Strong, so let's see what it does. It's about bringing chaos on, is what it means. Visit the world. They're not going to give it to me. Dictionary, Siri. To go to see and spend time with socially, with someone socially. To pop in on. No, this isn't going to pay a visit. You're going to drop by. I'm going to come and see you, right? Now, what we have to do is we got to go in on it. Let's see. Does the blue letter go into, let's see. Let's see. What is that? Second Ezra? Let me see. I don't think it does. Okay, so let's do this. Second Ezra. Let's go Strong's. See what we can glean. Second Kings, Second Chronicles, G and T. Not giving me the Bible Online, Strong's Concordance, Second Corinthians. Let's look at it in the G and T. See if we can glean. What am I looking for? To visit the world which he made. There's 9. Will bring, here's visit on the world he has created. It's the very same time when the Most High will visit, bring judgment on the world he has created. See that? Let's go here. Visit the world which he made. 2 Ezra 9:2. Then thou shalt understand it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to bring judgment on the world which he made. We go right here to the GMT. 2. 2 Ezra 9:2. You will know that the time has come when the Most High, when God the Most High will bring judgment on the world he has created. Okay? There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders. Nate, what's his name? General, unstable leader, General Nathaniel, and confused rulers. Who's that? Joe Biden. Yeah? Vladimir Zelensky. What's this guy in France? Okay, all of these clowns. When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what God Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation. Okay, and there it is. We see these things. National rebellion. What is a national rebellion? What's going on in Nigeria, Nigeria? Right? What's going on over there right now? National rebellion. Okay, they're kicking the French out. International intrigues. Right, we see these things. What does it mean? It means the time has come when God the Most High will bring judgment on the world he has created. Right? Going back to Joel 3 and 2. I will gather the armies of the world. We just saw that in Nate. What is Nate showing you right here? The gathering. Right? I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There I will judge them. It's the very same time when God will judge the nations. Isn't that what it says? The time has come when God the Most High will bring judgment on the world he has created. When you see what? When you see these tribes, when you see these armies gathering, I will gather the armies of the world in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Why? There I will judge them. He's got his reasons for judging them. But the point is that when you see these armies gathering like we see right here, it's the very same time when God is about to bring judgment. He's going to visit. Okay? So with that, we'll end it right there. The point has been made, all right? So we hope that the elect, you brothers and few sisters, were edified with that. We're going to say shalom.